you dismiss this as another conspiracy theory, hear me out. In 2023, 3 NASA scientists were caught on a leaked recording saying something that made me question everything I thought I knew about the moon landing. And I'm not talking about whether it happened or not. I'm talking about what they found up there that they never told us. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand why NASA spent billions of dollars trying to prevent this information from reaching you. Look, most people think the moon landing conspiracy is dead, right? We landed. It happened. Case closed. But here's the thing nobody talks about. The Apollo astronauts saw something on the moon, something unexplainable, and the government has been covering it up for over 50 years. I spent 3 weeks digging through declassified NASA documents, astronaut interviews, and leaked footage that the mainstream media completely ignored. And what I found, honestly, it changed everything. First, let's talk about Buzz Aldrin's testimony. In 2016, during a public hearing, Aldrin said something strange. He said, "We saw things, structures, things that didn't make sense to us at the time." When the interviewer asked follow-up questions, NASA officials immediately shut down the interview. The footage was buried. But here's what really got me. In the Apollo 11 transcripts, the official transcripts, there's a 2-minute gap. 2 minutes of dead air between Houston and the lunar module. Why? According to declassified documents I found, during those 2 minutes, the astronauts were reporting something on the lunar surface. Something moving. Something that shouldn't be there. Then, silence. The next transmission? The audio is artificially altered. You can hear the distortion. NASA engineers literally edited out whatever was said during those 120 seconds. And it gets worse. In 2019, a former NASA communications specialist, someone who worked directly with Apollo missions, came forward anonymously. She said the original moon landing footage was 47 minutes longer than what was released to the public. 47 minutes of footage, just gone. She claimed they discovered something on the lunar surface that contradicted everything NASA was telling Congress at the time. Something that would have changed the entire space program. So they buried it. Now, you might be wondering, why would NASA do this? Think about the politics of 1969. We were in a space race. The Soviet Union was right behind us. If NASA discovered something on the moon, anything, that suggested we weren't alone, or that something else had been there before us, Congress would have lost its mind. The entire mission would have been compromised. The funding would have dried up. Maybe even the astronauts wouldn't have gone in the first place. So what did NASA do? They compartmentalized the information. Only the highest level officials knew. Everyone else? Kept in the dark. But here's where it gets interesting. In the 1970s, NASA started sending missions to specific locations on the moon, not for science, for surveillance. They were photographing something. And those photographs never released to the public. In 1972, the year of the last moon landing, something happened that made NASA completely shut down the entire Apollo program. Officially, budget cuts, lack of public interest. But a former NASA administrator once said in an interview, "We weren't supposed to go back. We were told not to go back." Told by who? He never answered that question. The interview was cut short. Fast forward to today. NASA announced they're going back to the moon, the Artemis program, billions of dollars. And you know what's interesting? They're not going to the same landing sites. They're going to a completely different region, the South Pole. Why? Because, according to leaked internal emails from NASA engineers, there's something at the Apollo landing sites that they don't want modern rovers and cameras documenting in detail. Something that would raise too many questions. And here's the kicker. A Chinese rover landed on the far side of the moon and found something unusual. A rectangular object, a structure, something that looked artificial. NASA called it a rock. But some scientists argued it looked too geometric, too perfect to be natural. Suddenly, NASA accelerated their plans to return. They want to get there before anyone else documents what's really on the moon. So what's really up there? Based on everything I've researched, the testimonies, the documents, the missing footage, I believe NASA may have encountered evidence of something unexpected, something that doesn't fit the narrative we've been told. Whether that's misunderstood natural formations, lost data, or something more, that's the question they don't want people asking. Because once you ask that question, more follow. How much do we really know? What's still classified? And why? Look, I'm not telling you to believe everything you hear. I'm telling you to stay curious. Go back and watch the original footage. Read the transcripts. Ask questions. Because the truth about the moon isn't just about the past. It's about what we choose to question today. If this made you think, drop a comment and share your perspective. But here's where things get even more interesting. In 2026, NASA finally went back to the moon. For the first time in over 50 years, astronauts traveled all the way there again. But they didn't land. They went around the moon and came back. No new footprints. No new surface footage. Nothing from the places we once visited. NASA says it was just a test, a preparation step before landing again. And maybe that's true. But if going back to the moon is something we've already done, why stop just short of the surface? Why now? Because when you look at everything, the missing footage, the unexplained gaps, the unanswered questions, it starts to feel like this isn't just about going back. It's about being careful, about what we might find when we do. And maybe we're closer than ever to finding out.